Welcome, everyone. We are going to be doing a panel discussion today with our guests joining us from customer and partner organizations. We're going to be discussing a very important topic, which is allyship for women. Our panelist guests who are joining us today have a really solid career journey, and they've grown into their careers in top leadership roles. By taking help of allies, and they're now at a point where they're giving back to their companies and industries by being an ally and supporting diversity and fostering it further. So without much wait, I'd like to invite our panelists and have them share with you their stories of allyship and how they're now supporting their companies and industry.
Hi, hello everyone. I'm glad to be here. It's a pleasure and an honor. I'm Vishakha. I have been working for a long time. Started as a programmer and then went through various roles. When I first started, the whole infrastructure was actually a server room where we had to enter after removing our shoes. To now I'm working with a cloud and I'm handling operations and delivery for More by Cella Group. We are Google Cloud partners and I head the India operations for them.
This is Jana. I'm dialing in from Singapore. I am Czech, Swedish citizen. I've been living in Singapore for the last 10 years, and I am a computer science major. I've been living and working in the tech for the past 25 years. In the beginning of my career, it was for large software enterprise companies like SaaS and Sybase. And about 7 years ago, I switched and started my own data consultancy, which turned out into having a tech startup in customer data platform. So we are partners with Google Cloud because we allow our clients to deploy in any location and on any instances they need. And this is how I got in touch with the team of Google here in Singapore. Looking forward to talk to you all.
Everyone, this is Naomi Kurahara, co-founder and CEO of Infostella. So Infostella is a Tokyo-based space startup. We are running our product on the GCP. So myself, I started my career from academia and then started this company in 2016. So I am glad to attend this panel and share my experience.
So mine has been a very long journey, and I have been very fortunate to have very strong women leaders and women managers in most of the positions that I've worked in, and that has really helped me. It has kind of make me not worry about what am I doing and how am I doing things. In fact, in my first job itself, I was my team leader at that time was a woman. She was a very strong, very efficient lady, and I think I credit most of my career journey and the weight has been to her because she never kind of discriminated much between girls and boys. We were all very fresh out of college and very easy to be influenced at that time. And she would just pick up the right person to do the right job. At that time, there was a lot of travel involved internally within India, and travel at that time wasn't very easy. But she didn't think twice about just asking me to go to a particular city in 2 days and talk to the customer and get this done, or go and give this presentation to the customer there. And that kind of made me feel confident about myself, my abilities, and be able to do anything that came my way. That set the tone for the rest of my career, where I never thought twice whether, am I really, should I really be doing this? Is it something that I can do? It's given to me, that means you just do it, because that's the confidence I got from her. And then moving ahead, this is the kind of confidence I would also like to give my team. And I hope I have been doing it for my team as well. But I just, tell them, yes, this is a task. I know you can do it.
It's nice that, Vishaka, you talk about equality, because I spent my formative years in Sweden, and Sweden is a very equal country, despite the fact I studied computer science there, and we were 35 people, and out of the 35 people, we were 5 women. I never actually thought that this is something, being a woman, that should hold me back. And then when I started in the tech industry, I realized that, I am a rare species. This is like 25 years ago. And, there were not so many women out there. And I'm so happy to see the change that we are living through right now. But I would not have been here speaking to you today if I didn't have a few supporters on the way. And one of my big supporter was a regional director for SaaS who hired me and asked me to run marketing in Central and Eastern Europe. And, this was a guy who said, okay, we are setting up office in Romania or Ukraine. Jana, pack your bag and go there. It was completely outside of my JD. And what was important for me to learn was always say, yes, I have never done that, but I'm going to go and try. And so just being curious and being a little bit brave to go into unknown situations was incredible learning curve for me. And I took it as an opportunity for me to test out and try out new things. This was as well, Philip Benyak is the name of this person. And he sent me at one point to run a country operation, and I have never run a country, the entire team. And I was supposed to be responsible for P&L, profit and loss, and sales. And we had a very complicated client situation. And I went into that, and I didn't do right in this super important meeting. I basically screw it up. And I called him. I remember how horrified I was when I walked out of this meeting together with my sales manager, and we looked at each other, in horror. It looks like this largest client will actually leave us. And I picked up phone and called Philip, and I said, hey, it didn't go well. I explained, and I said, like, I'm ready to, hand over my resignation because, it's my fault. And he told me, Jana, this is not so easy. Now you go back home, you sleep on this, and you have to spin it. You can't walk away from difficult situation in your job. This is the easiest thing to do. You have to go back, think about it, spin it, and call me tomorrow morning and tell me what we're going to do, because everything is solvable. And this was something that stuck with me my entire career. When I was stuck and I felt like, oh my God, I can't move on from here. I always think about Philip believing in me and trusting me that I can manage, not actually stepping in for me, but letting me figure it out. And this is what we need from Allies, and this is what we need from our mentors.
Before my startup, I joined a private company, and I was working as system engineer. So at first, I was beginning the difference between research organization and the private company. So for that time, I had a good supporter or allies. So he was he was a project manager for my customer. And I was involving the project as a member. So he supported my tasks and also adapting myself to the business. So it was he was really helpful. And also my second turning point was when I started my company startup. Well, 2016, I started the company with two co-founders. So three of us started, and one of them was the kind of senior person. He was like 60, over 60 years old, and he was the other company's president. He was president of small radio maker. And the co-founder is a young man. He was like 22 or 23. And he had an experience working in the other startup. So they both gave me a different advice and kind of coaching in the different area. So the senior person who taught me how important to make a trustable or trust a relationship between customer or partners or service level or etc.
when I was transitioning from being a developer to getting into a managerial role, my company at that time had a proper mentorship program. So they would, assign such people to other senior members, not within the same business unit or organization, but in a parallel or a different one. And then we would have one-on-one discussions with them and, talk to them about our problems, about problems that they had, how to solve a particular issue. In general, anything, any, questions or problems we had. And that was a really good program that we had because it just made me see that the problems I was going through, and that also involved managing a bit of your personal life and your career and your work, and that these were not very specific to me or unique to me. That everybody is going through them, and yes, there are certain ways in which these can be handled. It was just good to also be able to talk to someone else about all of these and not be worried about okay, how is my boss going to take it. You cannot always open up to your boss about all the problems that you have. So it was good to open up with somebody else and tell them, look, I'm having this problem, and how do I do it? And to hear from that other person that, yes, look, I've been here, and I know this can work or that can work, or why don't you try this, or you tell me what you think will work and we'll see how we can make it work. And that really helped. um, I'm not the kind of person who's very open to people or who would go out and find a mentor. And I know this is important to, at certain points in your career, but I just not am that kind of person. So the very fact that my company had this program in place really helped me a lot, really helped me understand the importance of having a mentor, and hopefully now being one as well to people in a similar situation in life. Having a support system, what kind of support system to have, that it is okay to have a support system. All of this came from that mentorship program, and it's really helped me.
Another thing what I do is I started 4 years ago nonprofit movement that is called She Loves Data, because I realized we need to help women out there to embrace tech and data, because it's everywhere in every profession. And because I had such a lack of I would say female role models on my journey, this movement is not only teaching women around tech and data, but it also helps to create a support network. And within this support network, there is a possibility to find mentors, ad hoc mentors where you can find some questions, answers to some questions, and you can as well find some allies. And those could be allies that can help open doors, maybe when you are changing a job. Those could be allies that can help on a journey of upskilling yourself, or simply when you have some questions, it's good to get opinions from others on the way. And it's good to kind of get opinions from different angles. So this is where the women find, in this She Loves Data network, they find the possibilities to ask and check with others. I think it's important to say that there are a few differences. We have allies, but they can be sponsors and mentors. Mentors are people who help us to be better and evolve in our careers and evolve, in a personal development. It doesn't have to be professional. And what I found in my journey is it was always great to have mentors that were outside of my, jobs, outside of my organizations, because I was able to speak very openly about all the questions I had and challenges. The second ally is a sponsor. Sponsor is someone who is within your organization and who helps openly to open doors and promotes you, lifts you up, believes you, gives you opportunity to seek out new career steps and challenges, and who helps on a way. And I think it's important to define, those sponsors within the organization and use their support. We women, we often are worried about asking questions and asking someone for help. And I want to encourage everyone who's listening today is don't do that. Ping people, because usually they are very helpful. I get throughout the She Loves Data community, I get maybe 3-4 questions through LinkedIn or through email, or people kind of, our volunteers, we have 150 volunteers in 16 countries. They would ask me, hey, do you have 5 minutes? I would like to discuss this topic. And I rarely say no, because I want to help out people out there. It makes my life more fulfilled, and to see people grow is amazing. So, go out there, find who you want to have opinion from, and just ask them. And sometimes those could be lifelong relationships, and you will have a supporters who you maybe never dreamed of.
So I think the most important thing as an ally I do with most of my team is to just believe in them. It's just to give them a space where they can come and discuss anything that they have with me, any kind of problems. I have also at times gone out and asked them, okay, if you have a problem, is there something I can help you with other than just the work? I think that is very important, just to be understanding, just to know that, okay, there is a lot to a person than just the work that they do, that they come to work, yes, but there's a whole lot of other things that could be affecting a person. And to give them that space to, go through whatever and be able to express themselves. I've also started, as Yana also said, asking for help is difficult. I find myself have found it difficult to ask for help. And so I just make it clear that it's okay for them to do it. It's okay for them to come to me and say, okay, look, I have this problem and how do I work with it? I try to, encourage girls to take on a little bit more challenging roles. And I encourage them also to take help, because I have seen a lot of times um, girls, when they get into technical problems and are stuck, they keep being stuck for a long time. And so it's important for us, it was important for me to go to them and say, okay, yes, you can, just ask around. There are people who have been through this, there are people who have seen these problems. So just ask, and then, go ahead. It's okay to do that.
I'm leading a project team and data analyst team. And one of our senior data engineers, she is a female who is self-taught. So she studied Python and SQL on her own. She used to be a business analyst. And then she started with us as a junior data analyst. And now she is heading the learning process for all our team members. And what is incredible, we had a talk last week. So I have with my direct reports and with some women where I see, or men, that they have a potential in our team. I would have a once a month or every quarter discussion with them to point them out in the right direction. So we had this discussion with Nelia, and she was wondering what her next step is. And I so clearly could see the direction which she should take, which was clear for me. So I think Ally should point out the opportunities that the person doesn't still see, or maybe doesn't trust in. And I think this is in a way the push or lift up of those people that are coming up to me, because it's my responsibility as their manager and as their ally to make them better and to see the evolution of their skill sets on the hard side, the hard skills, but as well on the essential skills. So, for this particular girl, I pointed out and I said, look, it's not only about the technical skills. You have a good background in business. You need to go out and not speak about tasks, but about the whole holistic project value setting. And she was not sure if she can do it. But so I had to remind her how she demonstrated it in the past and how she needs to focus on that. And this is what Ally, I think, should do. The other part is to give people confidence in themselves. Another story I have, about 15 years ago, I was a country manager of SaaS for 2 countries, and I was stepping up to another role, and I was looking for my replacement. All the candidates were males, and I had my head of consulting in my team who was a female. And she was supposed to teach everything, this new country manager that would step in, about the operation, about our clients, and about our technology solutions. At a certain point, I sat down with her and I asked her, why don't you apply for the country manager position? And she told me, I'm young. She was 32 years old. I want to have a family. I don't know how I would do that. I as well am worried that if I don't do well in the new position, that I will lose my position, which I enjoy. So what we did together I asked her to step into the country manager position for a temporary time to test it out for 3 months with my support. And now, 15 years later, or I think 13 years later, she is one of the female country managers at SAS, one of the very few. And she is as well one of the very successful ones, because now she's running a region and she had kids, and everything is possible if you have the right allies around you. Because as you mentioned, we kind of look at being mom as something like, how am I going to put all this together? But it's doable and it's possible, and we should not even be thinking about that. It should be natural and automatic. So, look for people that will lift you up. And us being allies, this is basically something that we need to do in our operations, because if we lift people up and we see that they develop, it's for the greater good and better results of the organization. So, there is a win-win for everyone.
So I think it's important to understand the people's situation and also encourage to focus the responsibility and how to achieve. So for example, myself, I had when I first had a baby, I started to afraid to not accomplish my responsibility, but it was not the good way to think about. So I had to think what is my responsibility and how to complete this with limited time. So it's same for everyone. So we have several people came from the outside of Japan. So the people may have a family who can't speak Japanese, and they worries how to support their families. So they also have some restrictions. For allies, it's good to encourage people focus their responsibility and how to achieve. And it's possible to achieve those. And the diversity helped us to make a stronger team. So someone who can understand the others' situation and accept those and support each other. Those natural relationships helped company also to make a stronger team and business. So
Thank you very much. It was really amazing listening to your stories, and I have a lot of gratitude for all of you spending time with us today, and opening up some of really personal stories and examples and experiences that you shared.